What is going on, you guys? Welcome back to another episode of the Turnbuckle Times 10 Count AEW edition, hosted by the one, the only me, Stephen Burton. As always, we ask you guys to please rate, review, subscribe, share. If you enjoy these little videos, make sure you're subscribing on our YouTube channel. You can see all that lovely stuff below. We're going to try to keep it under 10 minutes like we always try to do. I'm going to recap the Dynamite episode from September 1st, kind of the go home Dynamite episode in regards to All Out. It was a decent show. It was okay. It has its highs, it has its lows. It's like anything else, right? Kind of interesting in regards to a little bit of a down when it would come to the card itself. You know, you had the great main event, Jurassic Express and the Lucha Brothers versus the Elite, which is the Young Bucks and the Good Brothers. But then you kind of had this mixed bag. I mean, Orange Cassidy fought. Y'all know it. I always love watching Orange Cassidy. All that great stuff. He's fun to watch. He's fun to see perform in the ring. I don't really care who you put him up against. Jack Evans, whatever. The opening match. Let's touch on this, you guys. So the opening match, FTR versus Tito and Ortiz, or Santana and Ortiz. Ooh, Tito Ortiz. Man, I got MMA on my mind. Really, really good match. So I think that's something for those of us who like AEW that is an interesting thing to see, is that AEW actually seems to care about their tag division. These are legitimate tag teams. Santana Ortiz, amazing, great in Impact before this, really good in AEW. FTR, aka the Revival, great in WWE. They weren't valued there. Came to AEW, and you guys got to think, like, this is a tag match that has like no implications on the tag titles, like none. It's just a good match, and I think it's important to point out this is, they talked about it on the show, that this was the first time that Dash was fighting since kind of that really wicked laceration. They kind of expanded on it on the show for the first time. That it was a freak accident, cut him down to like the bottom layer of tissue. Took, I want to say they said 27 stitches and constant compression. That's why he was wearing the compression sleeve. But it was the first time in the ring for him since that accident. For those who remember it, it was freakish, but it was really wicked to see. A lot of people thought he broke his arm because he had the tape on his arm and he was pressing down as hard as he could to make sure he didn't bleed out, essentially. But man, they're so good. They're so good together. It was a great first match. Kind of kicked the show off in a good way. Kind of got you pumped, got you going. And then that led kind of right into one of the highlights of the night, more than likely, was not just having CM Punk come out again, because it's amazing whenever he comes out. The pop, the reaction. They're in Chicago for the week. So he's sleeping, he's sleeping in his own bed. He's with his wife. He's in his hometown. He's ready to rock. But it was what happened after he cut the promo or during it. You have Garcia 2.0 coming out and trying to take him down. And he, gets a little banged up. Darby comes out. Sting comes out. And for the first time since he's in AEW, for the first time in 7 years, we got to see a little bit of Punk in the ring, doing a little bit of, climbing the turnbuckle, beating the tar out of him. And then we got to see it. We got to see the go to sleep, which was really cool. Along with, Scorpion Death Drop, which is great. And then I think more than likely, so you guys know we're doing our live show tomorrow night. And this will not make my list because I think it's a very overrated finisher. The coffin drop, I'm not a fan of it. But kind of all three of those, Sting grabs the mic. Sting talks about how they were kind of like these two ships passing in the night. He's excited to see him. He's excited to be in the ring with him. And then he let him know, hey, man, I'm gonna bump fists with my boy at All Out, and then I'm out. It's going to be you and him. I'm not going to be here. And I thought that was so cool. But I thought it was just overall, it was really, really cool to be able to see Punk a little in the ring because he's lost a little bit. I mean, I'm gonna say something controversial, probably a little bit. He's not as braggadocious. Now, granted, he's not been in the ring in 7 years to show that he is the best in the world. So I think that's a really interesting storyline, but it was great to see him be active. It was great to see him do the GTS. Uh, Brian Cage, Powerhouse Hobbs, another match. I'm not a huge Brian Cage fan. I think he's really stiff in the ring. He reminds me a lot of Bobby Lashley over in the WWE. It's just not good. Ricky Starks, I love. He's kind of heelish, slimy, slurpy, snaky. So I don't mind that much. But Team Taz, I mean, whatever. You had several interviews. One was interesting. One was the one that was kind of was, and I love Tony Schiavone, but Tony Schiavone's interview with MJF was just, prop the heel up, make it bigger, make the match feel bigger. And it's great also because Schiavone just like, I'm uncomfortable sitting here. You're like the biggest scumbag on the history of the planet. This isn't fun for me. Like he kind of kept saying things like that, which made you buy into more and more. MJF is just this horrible person. And to speak on that really quickly, like I totally found over this previous week, him doing like him carrying his heel character like almost into real life, like at an autograph signing, flicking off like a 10-year-old. And then he did a cameo. If you've not seen his cameo for somebody's birthday, please go on YouTube and watch it because it's hilarious. It's him and Wardlow, and he's very much MJF during the entire thing. So, I mean, that was interesting. Though the interview that piqued the most interest for me was the Jericho one with Ross, because Ross, I mean, I've been on record, you guys. I don't think Jericho is going to lose this match, but there are things that point to a little bit of worrisome. Ross was really emotional in the ring. Jericho seemed pretty emotional outside of the promo that he cut about having to break his bones and choke the life out of his lungs and all these things. He seemed to be soaking things in a little bit more. And it's got me kind of split on what to expect at All Out from Jericho and MJF. Could he legitimately be taking time off? Absolutely. Could he be done? I mean, you're talking about him reminiscing about signing his first contract. You're talking about they had all his names, they said. The Ayatollah of Rock and Roll, Lionheart, the Demo God, the Painmaker. I mean, all these, they went through all of them. And for me, it was just Jericho's great, but it was kind of how emotional Ross was during it that got me kind of thinking, got me kind of wondering. Low key, great match. Ty Conti, really, really like her. Girl's got like a black belt in judo and taekwondo and karate and all these different things, and she's really good. Low key, very, very great match. And I'm not a fan of the bunny. You guys have heard me say that, but Ty Conti, really, really solid wrestler. A whole lot of old this is awesome chants, holy shit chants during that match. It was great. Like I said, Orange Cassidy fought. I love that. Really, really odd. They go picture in picture in AEW. They don't do that in WWE, but not much happens in picture. And that's why I say this was odd, is Orange Cassidy scored the pin during the picture-in-picture, which is a really, really odd thing, in my opinion, to do. It caught me off guard. Like, I had to rewind the episode. I had to rewind several times to see, like, what did he do? Did he hit an orange punch? What exactly happened? Did I miss something? And I did. I kind of missed that roll-up, which was really interesting. So I wasn't a huge fan of that. Britt Baker cut a promo. I know you guys, like me and Adam were talking about this today. We talked about it on the episode last week. The shoes that CM Punk's wearing, a C, BW. There's a ton of rumors. Bray Wyatt, Adam Cole. Adam Cole's officially not under contract anymore. He is a free agent. It has expired. No non-compete. We know he was with Britt Baker because she's his dentist apparently too. So there was a lot of curiosity. Then you get the news Britt Baker's got a huge free agent signing announcement. Lo and behold, it's not a free agent. It is her just signing a new contract with AEW. So it's kind of like that was a little bit of a letdown. Me and Adam were talking about today. Kind of got really hyped up thinking that Adam Cole might show up. Adam was going to jump on here with me if Adam Cole did because we all know how much he loves him, baby. But it didn't happen. And I kind of thought about it more throughout the afternoon leading up to Dynamite. I didn't see it. The more I thought about it, the more I thought they're going to probably hold off because what's the point of plugging him in when you're going into a pay-per-view and you don't have a storyline for him quite yet? It's probably going to happen after the pay-per-view or at it. We do know Brian Danielson is probably going to debut on Sunday. And then finally, the main event was good. Main event was solid. A lot of great moves. Rey Fenix, low-key, great worker. Penta El Cerro's always fun. I don't know if there's too many people more over than Jungle Boy and Luchasaurus. I'm ready for someone to beat the Young Bucks. You can only have the heel do the heel things to win the matches so many times until they lose. I am praying that takes place because they've been doing it for a year now, and it's about time. I love Christian Cage coming out. Felt weird. It felt very open-ended at the end of the episode with the cage coming down and them just beating the target. You kind of felt like someone was going to come out, and it just didn't. So, I mean, all in all, episode B for me wasn't the greatest go-home episode. I'm really interested to see what happens on Rampage because that's it. That is the go-home episode before All Out. That's where you're going to push everything to the center of it. And kind of last thing here, we joked about this. Punk's not working full time, but Punk is always there. For those who missed it last week on Rampage, I missed it when I recorded. He came out afterwards, talked with Christian Cage, Frankie Kazarian about being around. And I mean, he's backstage all the time. So you never know what's going to happen with that. But like I said, all in all, kind of a B. Miro did cut a promo as well. I don't see Eddie Kingston beating him. Miro's just so dominant right now. But I'm interested to see what happens in Rampage. We got a lot of loose ends. You got Bryan Danielson, Adam Cole's hanging out there, Bray Wyatt. News broke. This has nothing to do with AEW, but looks like Braun Strowman and Buddy Murphy are headed to Impact more than likely, so those aren't going to be any surprises. But yeah, I mean, I got nothing else. Make sure you guys are subscribing. Make sure that you guys are ready to rock and roll tomorrow because I'm going to drop this pretty much as soon as I'm done. We're going to be going live 8 p.m. Central tomorrow. Top 10 finishers of all time and our opinions. Bring your guys' opinions and let's have a little bit of a debate. Look forward to seeing you guys tomorrow. I'm out.